Oh, yeah, Kraken in the news. Yeah. You can leave for today?
They're a crypto brokerage exchange.
You know that now.
One of the oldest ones.
You just read the notes. Look at you. Well, I suppose we should be podcasters.
I am a YouTuber at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's also a weird statement.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Don't. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. This is the Higher Standard. Cue the Ghost Energy Drink Can Pop. Sitting in front of me, my partner in crime in the New York Yankee camo-fitted cap.
I had a really inappropriate joke.
That's all you have. That's all you have.
No.
Christopher Navy.
Sitting across from my partner in time, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Saied Omar, everybody.
Thank you, my man. And sitting behind the desk in the production suite, if you will, the fighting Fijian Slim. Rajil, what's up, my guy?
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
Dude, Calvin Klein in the house.
Yeah, half the weight.
Yeah.
I'm half the man I used to be.
What are we down to now? Where are we at?
Teetering from 180 and 184.
See?
Teetering.
Yeah.
My visual acuity with another person's weight my game is on one.
Spot on.
I assess everybody in every room at all times. Can I take him? Was he 180?
So what's the secret? How'd you get there?
Well, it all started way back in the day when we went to sign up for Fridays.
Yeah, you missed a lot here.
Yeah, get there faster.
He went to joinfridays.com. He used the code HIGHER. He got $100 off his first order. Got himself on Trizepatide and got sexy.
That easy.
You can also go and get NAD+. Again, go to joinfridays.com. They sponsor the show. We sponsor them. They sponsor us. It's love all the way around the table. You should get involved in love. Use code HIGHER. Get $100 off your first order.
There's a lot to get into tonight. A lot. We have everything from the jobs report. We have crypto news to get into. But honestly, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, it's virtually impossible to do a show to not talk about the geopolitical conflicts.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be lying. We wouldn't be honest. We wouldn't be who we really are if we didn't talk about how this is impacting everything.
I thought we started with we're YouTubers. Isn't lying and not being honest part of the job description?
That is for a majority of them, yeah. Not us, though.
Yeah, no, because
we keep it.
We're the truth-telling kind.
Yeah, as the kids say, we keep it a buck.
Keep it 100.
Keep it 100. Okay, all right, look. So for those of you who don't know me well, I wake up every morning, usually around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm usually up for the rest of the night.
I can validate that.
Yeah.
Yes, I do get those messages.
It's really inappropriate.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I enjoy it. I love waking up to it. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I'll send you some news.
I always say, what did you say this though?
Yeah. And that's what I do a lot of my hardcore tweeting. I still call it tweeting. Xing doesn't make any sense to me because that also sounds like OnlyFans adjacent. So I can't X at night. You know what I mean?
Right. Single X is weird.
Yeah. Did you do last night? Oh, I X'd all night long. Did you? What now? Are you tired? No.
So many jokes.
Yeah, so many jokes. So many skews. So the last couple nights have been, I should probably back this up. Before the war, I was feeling a little overwhelmed with what I thought was the likelihood of war leading up to it. And honestly, I thought during the week that they attacked Venezuela and took out Maduro, that was going to be the kickoff to the Iranian war. I actually sent texts to friends and family saying, I think
immediately right after.
I thought I think the war was going to happen that weekend, and they went after Maduro instead.
Yeah.
It turns out in retrospect, they were trying to clear political allegiances from, ambassadors and whatnot from the embassies.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out later on that was what was going on in part. And I'm sure knowing the location of the Iranian regime at the time they were looking to take out was part of it. But
I also think, though, with how that all turned out and how that entire situation with Venezuela de-escalated so quickly played a large factor into the reasoning, or should I say, how it was sold to the majority on why this should be done now. Because maybe we can replicate that again.
You're talking about Maduro in particular, or
no? Yeah, how we were able to de-escalate that situation very quickly, get in and out fast, and we could do this again here.
Well, and I mean, looking back on it, there's some problems, and I talked a little bit about this in the live today, and it's frustrating as hell. So I'm going to give a big asterisk here. If you're the sensitive kind of listener who doesn't like the fact that I go off on what may be considered to be conspiratorial on some level, this show's going to bother you, okay? Because one of the things that I do is I spend a lot of time in these wee hours of the morning. Shout out for using the phrase "wee hours."
Wee hours.
Yeah, wee.
Wow.
The way the winds. Yeah, those little early hours.
Tell me you're not a millennial.
I'm that guy. I spend a lot of time kind of esoterically thinking about the economy and how things are going to play out, because I'm legitimately interested in where the markets are going, and I want to see if I'm right. So, looking back on the Maduro situation, it's pretty obvious that this was one of the largest crude oil supplies in the world. That if we knew we were going to go into Iran, this presented an interesting opportunity with which we would have access to oil. Now, we never got a lot of oil from Iran anyway. About 80% of that went to China.
Mm-hmm.
But it does give us leverage in oil conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And the two largest crude oil refineries in the world happen to be in Louisiana and Texas.
Right.
On the U.S. soil. Then you have, okay, what happened in Mexico. It seemed like an interesting distraction after a Supreme Court loss on tariffs. And we've now ratcheted those tariffs up from 10% to 15%, but we haven't actually implemented them yet. They've just said they were going to do those things. And then we go into Iran. And I cautioned everybody with a pretty lengthy and somewhat inflammatory post that people should be hesitant to celebrate early, that this was the beginning, and it was just the beginning. And that was met with a lot of pushback.
Which I can't understand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you take this tactic with a country like that. This is existential for them. This means everything to them, right?
Well, it's also an identity issue.
Yeah.
And I think that the as much as we talk about on the show that there's been 15 years of artificial interest rate deflation, this prolonged period of prosperous time, that people have forgotten what it's like to lose.
Mm-hmm.
They have this bravado where they really feel like I'm gonna crush it. I always crush it. I always win. Well, everybody's won the last 15 years in part.
You could have invested in almost anything and won.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that generic with it and demonize people who are struggling, because there's a lot of people out there who are struggling financially. What I'll say is this has been one of the most prosperous runs in American history. That run ended about a couple of years ago, and now between wage inflation not keeping up with actual inflation, people are feeling the pinch. So I'm not saying that people shouldn't feel difficult. What I'm saying is over the last 15 years, we had a lot of success stories, more than what I would call normal.
Yes.
So in this context, I've taken some time to look at some things, and there's some holes in a lot of the conversations. And I want to plug some of those holes with questions and let people think those through.
I bet you do.
Thank you for doing it for me.
So you didn't catch the lob on the
he saw
the
this
referral earlier.
Yeah, he saw the opening and he took it. He plugged it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. No, it's fine. It's just
good. Yeah.
We got to be more sexually referenced
Right.
jokes in order to get his attention, apparently. My bad. So the U.S. is now waging an air-only war at this particular juncture in time. I have yet to see, in my limited time on this planet, a war where you can bomb somebody from the air only and liberate a people. And I think that there's a disconnect between the differences of regime change and liberation.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of Iranians were very happy to see the leader of the country, the religious leader, the supreme leader of the country, to be taken out because of the quality of life they'd been afforded. They thought was terrible, and
I do know my fair share of Iranians who do feel this way.
Yeah,
I do,
and I respect the hell out of it. I think that's right. Unfortunately, that is only the beginning, because if you don't change the regime out entirely, and I guess the U.S. is killing them all off systematically.
It's also easier said than done when you're here versus there.
Yeah, you also, it's 3.5 times the size of Iraq, right? Iraq was also a ground war. The people in Iraq also waged war side by side, but that's also easier to convince a populace to do, because right now Iranians go outside. There is not Americans with boots on the ground to prevent an evil regime and their military of stomping you out, right? Whereas if there were Americans on the ground, which is a very sensationalized conversation, then at least they would feel more comfortable going outside, that they had somebody to fight side by side with them currently.
Right.
And that was kind of a lot of the thought process behind the scenes. From a financial perspective, one of the things on the show that I think is important to talk about is the Strait of Hormuz is a huge vein, but it goes both ways.
I was going to take it there.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be respectful here.
A huge vein going both ways? Come on, I'm giving away freebies here.
Not doing this with you today.
Okay, so
not on this topic.
All right. So we saw the Strait of Hormuz being threatened to shut down, but then Iran came out and said, we're going to let China go through. Okay?
You use their own shipping vessels.
Their own shipping vessels. Meanwhile, Lloyd's of London canceled insurance policies on a lot of the tankers coming in and out of the Strait of Hormuz.
This is really an insurance problem,
An
right?
insurance problem. It's a third-party, outside, private insurance company problem.
Right. What like The reference I saw from or I read online that made a lot of sense is like if you got a Lamborghini and you drive it on a racetrack, you need a special type of insurance for it.
Yep.
But if that racetrack is on fire, you ain't getting that insurance.
Yeah, because they're not going. Their risk of loss in insurance company is high enough for them to say we are more likely to pay than not at this particular juncture, so we're just not going to give you the insurance.
Exactly, and then you can't afford to send those shipping vessels out because they're just wait. Yeah.
Well, these companies have a business decision to make, right? Are we going to take the risk of loss of sending? And even before the insurance was pulled by Lloyd's of London, a lot of the product movers using tankers had put those shipments on hold because they were concerned about what was going on in this region.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got Iran, who is striking out all the other participants in the region, not the U.S. per se, but their bases in some of these places, everywhere from Abu Dhabi to Kuwait to UAE, Doha, for example. Bahrain, yeah. A lot of these places are now getting hit, and we've seen some really interesting conversations. But what I thought was fascinating was then over the course of the last couple of days, you saw the Korean market just get devastated.
To the point where they had to put a stoppage.
That's right. So, in the U.S. market has the same stop loss feature as well.
Which is what?
If I think it's about 8%. I have to check. Reggie, if you want to check and see what the stop loss is on market trading activity, so you want to see what the percentage is that the market has to go down before they put a stop loss, and you'll see a different one for the Dow and the Nasdaq. I want to say it's about 8%.
This is for the market as a whole.
Yeah. So what they do is, let's say the indices, in this case, the Korean indices, dropped 8% within a narrow window of time. They stop trading on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to open trading back up. They also do this on individual stocks, by the way.
Yes.
So then they open trading back up, and if you continue to see losses, they just shut the market down for the day.
Do companies, if it on specific companies, this is just a tangent. Do they get to like know what that price is, or is it like standard across the board as far as
It's a percentage.
The percentage.
It's just a percentage.
Yeah.
It's raw percentage movement. It has nothing to do with the actual dollar price.
Yeah. Okay.
So that being said, these stop losses are triggered there. Okay, what do we got here?
South Korean stock market enforces a daily price limit of 30% for individual stocks, preventing them.
But it's like 8, 15, 20 or something, right?
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Additionally, a market-wide circuit breaker system halts trading for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If the index drops by 8, 15, or 20%.
Yeah.
Level 1, 8% drop for 20-minute halt. Level 2, 15% drop for another 20-minute halt. Level 3, if there's a 20% drop, trading ceases for the day.
So let's walk this through in a timely perspective. On Monday, our market opened up with seemingly no scare.
No activity, everything business as usual.
We actually had a pretty narrow tech-led rally that day, and it was strange. At the same time, the Fed was pumping money into the ecosystem, billions of dollars in, because they said they were going to do this Fed line, non-QE, QE, where they're pumping money in to help the banks who were going to be paying taxes for their clients. So they were just really pumping some money in there. And we've seen some improvement in the Fed as a result of that. Then on Tuesday, we saw the market start to get really shaky. Started to get kind of nervous, saw some volatility. The VIX, our synthetic volatility index, started to show signals of fear and volatility.
I think it went up to as high as like 25.
Yeah,
right?
the VIX went as high as 25. It's currently above 20 still, but barely above 20, so it's come back down. And then this morning, Wednesday morning, I thought because of what happened in Korea last night, that you were going to see VIX is at 21.15. Okay, there you go. Anything above 20 in my mind is heightened, but still. And the synthetic volatility index for us is still in normal territory, but it's barely there.
Yeah, that's our own volatility index that you can catch on the lives.
Proprietary, baby.
Can't take it. Can't be manipulated.
I mean, it really can. Anybody's got AI. Just make your own.
No, no, but ours can't be manipulated.
No,
Yeah.
ours is unique. Yeah, ours is straight, no opinions, straight data driven, and I'm pretty proud of it. But
All facts, no cap.
Yeah, I got to put together some model explanations on a website we got to build in the future, but I've just been busy. So now we open up the market today, Wednesday, and we've seen all the Asian markets, Korean being the biggest statistical outlier, dive. And we thought, okay, well, the U.S. market's going to have a very similar reverberating effect in the economy. We're going to start to finally see the impacts of fear in an economy. And we didn't. Right before the market opened, when I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I see statements all over social media talking about how Iran and the U.S., the Iran vis-a-vis a third-party proxy is talking to the U.S. about possibly ending the war. That turned out to not be true. As a matter of fact, it turned out to be the opposite statements that were made throughout the day. But that calm made national headlines. And because it made national headlines, it seems like the market opened up with this air of optimism. To me, that screamed market manipulation. But also last night and this morning, I heard some interesting things which had me very much questioning everything that I thought at this point in time from a financial perspective. Iran has said that to respect their relationship with China, they were going to open the Strait of Hormuz. to them only. But then the U.S. comes out and says they're going to use one of our funds, federal funds, to backstop insurance for boats going through the strait, and they're going to use the U.S. military to walk them through. But then I'm like, wait a minute. If 80% of the oil coming through here goes to China, and China's already passing through, who are we protecting and why? So you start thinking through things logically, and you think to yourself, well, these are desert regions.
And I think it's really more narrative driven than anything else, trying to make it seem like, because I think it had come out that the U.S. had offered, like, we will insure the ships, right, and the vessels that go through, and then phone calls were being made, and that wasn't in fact the case.
And let me just ask the broad question, which may offend some, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. How do you trust anything you see or hear?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, there's literally today on the live, I inadvertently played a spoof video.
I saw that, yeah. And I mean, look, that's going to happen though, and that's always been the fear with AI. It wasn't too long ago when what do we got here? Asian markets with China, India, Japan, and South Korea being the top destinations. You're trying to show it on here. While the U.S. receives as much smaller portion, approximately 2.5%, the global and specifically Asian reliance on this route makes it a critical point of energy security. Yeah, well, I mean, so I think there's roughly 100 million barrels that get passed through there globally, right? And 20 million that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. So 20 million barrels go through there. And what's really important about, the Strait of Hormuz as far as the oil production goes is it sets the price in the market for what oil trades at. And that's the reliance. But you're right. I don't know how you can trust anything, because there wasn't too long ago when, like, there was an AI generated image that went out. I can't remember what the image was, but then markets tanked that day and then ended up rebounding by the end of the day. But that's going to happen.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but they also did this chart showing all the Israeli jets leaving Israel and going to Iran, and like this map where they show these little dots kind of going everywhere, and they're basically making these circle routes. And then they're still flying over Palestine. So that war is still going on.
They're dealing with that, right?
But getting no coverage in the media. And I'm sitting here going, like, this is strange. And again, I'm not taking sides, giving opinions. I'm just saying, like, the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on and getting little to no coverage at all.
Right.
I mean, these are active wars.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the geopolitical unrest, the conflict that's going on, and the market today closed at a narrow tech-led rally.
Yeah. And this is the problem, right? So I wrote it here for us to talk about. The stock market reaction is not aligning with the increased recession risk and the bond market reaction that we've seen.
Clear, palpable disconnect. And people, so somebody today, I think you saw on the show, came at me. He's a YouTube watcher, and he's like, you being upset about it and complaining about it isn't going to do
you ranting about it. What is it going to do for anybody? It's like, well, hold on.
Well, again, but shouldn't we be frustrated as a society that we have an irrational exuberance in the market? We believe this market is incapable of failure.
Well, this is this is my point.
It's a toucan pop episode, by the way.
Yeah, you got the sparkling water, not to be confused with the still liquid death.
Class.
Fancy.
This guy's so fancy, bro.
Pinky's up.
There you go.
There you go.
This is my point. The only rational justification that I could think of why this is the market and S&P has remained where it's at is it's really a quick de-escalation. It has been priced in, right?
But the White House is literally telling you it's going to be weeks.
But isn't that part in and of itself too is weird? Like I can't remember a time when they're like they're putting a time limit on. We'll be there for another 3-4 weeks. What?
That to me is bold.
Like what?
Right.
Right. Like,
so is your default strategy, no matter what happens, we're out in a couple weeks? And if so, well, what is that? What are you leaving the people there with?
The argument is it's going to be. I mean, I already believe it's too costly, but it's going to be too costly in 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, but again, financial show. Okay, so I'm focusing on this. GDP has been propped up by government spending. The Fed has 2 mandates: jobs
and stability, price
stability.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that jobs. The report today came out. We can talk a little bit about that. We expected 50,000. We got 60-something thousand. 63, I think. Let me check the show notes because every once in a while I actually want to be accurate. Because why would I want to be accurate, right?
Yeah.
63,000.
And
There
this
you
is
go. Thank
and then this is
Can you pull up an article on that to see if you can find something with Jill?
Sure.
So we had a better than expected job print, which I'm gonna be honest is bullshit, but whatever.
I'm
okay.
calling shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay. But the jobs numbers have been wrong for so long now. People are like, oh, they're wrong.
But
okay.
But this I feel like is a major misstep. Okay, you got your boy Kev. We're gonna call him. We got JP from the hood, and we got your boy Kev.
Kevin Warsh. We got to come up with a better name.
Your boy Kev, right? Come on. Okay, Kevin Warsh.
I just feel like
we'll give him something later. But
private employers added 63,000 jobs in February. Hiring jumped in February, delivering the best showing for job gains since July of 2025. Construction and education and health services led growth. Really? Because last I fucking checked, the deliveries in the market for construction are low, wildly low.
And we've already discovered or discussed on previous episodes that
where is this from?
Without the where is this from?
ADP research. Oh yeah, that's right.
Straight from the source.
Good job.
Boom.
Yeah.
But we've already discussed on previous shows that without the addition of the healthcare jobs, we would actually be at a loss over the last year, right? But here's what I think is a major misstep. If the expectation is you're going to bring in a new Fed chair and possibly also replace Lisa Cook,
maybe.
If that's the game plan.
Can you imagine being the executive branch losing the tariff situation and then losing Lisa Cook's situation?
Yeah, I know.
mean, talk about getting kicked in both ding-dings.
Well, I think losing the tariff situation was always part of the plan. We talked about that on the show. That was part of the plan. That was the goal, right? Yeah. But this is a major misstep because you have Kevin Warsh coming in, who you're saying that you want to replace Jerome Powell with someone that's going to cut interest rates right away. But here's the problem: you now have a geopolitical conflict that has heightened recession risk, right? Clear as day. If
it's going to increase inflation near term.
It's going
Bottom
to.
line.
It's going to. And I don't want to even hear the word transitory. Okay, I don't even want to hear it.
It comes and it goes.
I don't come and go. Right? But you have heightened recession risk. All the while, you have positive jobs and positive GDP.
I don't get it.
You don't have a leg to stand on to cut rates.
No. And if you play out the tariff situation, so right now the market's going, okay, they're going to put 15% tariffs unilaterally. They go, okay, well, tariffs are priced in. Okay, fine. A war is not priced in. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay?
Come on.
This is not priced in. How many billions of dollars are we spending a day? Yeah, I'm saying billions.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know, I mean, this is days ago, 2 days ago, there was 3 fighter jets that had already gone down, right? And obviously, rest in peace to the people that unfortunately passed in those situations. Each one of those, $100 million, gone, evaporated. You know.
All right, we talked about this before the show. I'm just going to do it.
As of March 2026, the U.S. is spending over $700 million in the first 24 hours of new escalated conflicts in the Middle East. Ongoing high-intensity conflicts such as the war in Ukraine, $127 million per day. Active military deployments such as a carrier strike group cost roughly $6.5 million per day.
Is this where our tariff revenue is going? That's a lot of stimmies, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Yeah, you're not getting those tax dollars.
And the bigger conversation here, which I don't know if we'll have enough to get into today, but the only reason why maybe there's even a little bit of comfort level with overspending and all this. Well, first of all, our interest payments cost currently more than our military defense, that what we have to pay for.
Yeah.
So we're already way overpaying there.
Yeah.
But the whole reason why the U.S. is comfortable with overspending by $2 trillion every single year is because you have the world reserve currency, right? You got everybody has been playing your game. I got some numbers here for you. I don't know if you're ready for this. De-dollarization, right? Countries around the world not using the U.S. dollar anymore. In 2001, 74% of the global reserve currency was saved in U.S. dollars, right? 74%. As of right now, it's down to 49%.
Wow, it's a big drop. I didn't know that.
That's a huge drop, right? And that's the beginning, the process of getting out of the U.S. dollar. So
that's where Ray Dalio's point really comes to hit home, where there's a new world order. That's what he's referring to.
Yeah. And that's part of every cycle, right? It's not something new. It's just part of a cycle that he's eventually going to be right about that. Whether it happens in 2 to 3 years like he's claiming, maybe. But eventually, yeah, it's going to happen.
You know, there's been photos that have come out of Iran where they've shown their drones in like underground tunnels and like bunkers, right? This whole conversation has been, they were a week away or two from a nuclear weapon, you know?
For the last 20 years.
Right. Why haven't they released a photo?
Why?
Just somebody standing next to a nuclear weapon or a nuclear plant.
I'm sorry, you've been threatening that they've had nuclear weapons for a very long time. I mean, I feel like now we would have found out.
I'm just saying, they're showing you their underground drones.
Yeah.
They're showing you that they have this surplus. They're not going to, from an unknown facility, like show a photo of them with a nuclear weapon and say, hey, world, we're serious, take us serious.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they really don't have those capabilities.
Right.
And in which case, what are we doing?
So, right, what are we doing?
Don't get me wrong. Evil dictator, terrible regime change.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, if that's what we're in there to do, then just say that. You know, we don't need to fluff it up with like everything else. I think the entire world would have been like, all right, you want to get rid of an evil dictator who's terrible to people. That's your reason.
That's a tough sell, though.
It's a tough sell, but we did the exact same thing in Maduro. Let's be honest. We did the exact same thing with Maduro. Literally popped him out, and
pop him out is wild. That's
but there was no protest in the streets. There was nothing. You went in, you got him, like mission, he's out, and then that's it in silence.
Yeah.
Right? But they weren't looking for a regime change. They had a successor already lined up.
The problem is you got people in Congress already coming out like Rubio saying other reasons why we went in. Right?
Okay, fine. But then, okay, I'm just going to ask the tough questions, okay? And I don't want anybody to be upset by it. I'm sure I'm going to piss somebody off. Why do this during the holy month of Ramadan for a religious supreme leader? You literally are making him a martyr in that. I mean, maybe the timing was right. It just seemed personal. That's all I'm saying. Like, you could. I mean, 3 weeks earlier, 2 weeks earlier, not Ramadan. You know what I mean? Like, and it just seems like a really.
And I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again. Here's the thing: we're not playing. They're not even playing the same game. The plan is for you to go in and have a regime change. The plan for them is to stay alive and stay in control of their land. It's existential for them.
Yeah.
You're not even playing the same game.
And then how do you get a people to unite and overthrow the government, right? How do you get the people to come out of their homes if you're bombing from the air only? Like, how does that work?
And okay, we're bombing from the air. You're bombing from the air only, right? And then here's my problem with the stock market and where it's at and how it's not aligned with everything. How can you price in de-escalation when you took out their supreme leader?
That's where I'm going with this.
You took out their supreme leader who arguably could be a martyr.
Where's the market confidence coming from?
And the next few named top officials have already been taken out.
Yeah.
So who are you negotiating with for a quick de-escalation?
Who's in charge? I don't know. And that's why like, okay, and I know inevitably someone's going to say, well, you didn't talk about this, you didn't talk about that. Here's the difference. This country had not been involved and engaged in active military conflict that it should be labeled a war, technically. This time it is. And wars typically have normalized responses in the markets. Long term, it's actually good for the stock market.
Okay, long term it is, right? So maybe that's what we can get into. So how would a normal market or a rational market like react to something like this? What would happen to the treasuries?
Normally, you would have fear that creeps into the market, right? When you have fear that creeps into the stock market, people go risk off. They start going, okay, I'm going to go into the safer asset classes because right now the future is slightly uncertain. I don't know how long it's going to drag out.
What would be like a safer asset class?
So
would you keep it in the U.S. still?
I think, okay, first of all, you would go and say, okay, look, I should caveat here. This is the first time we've seen crypto involved in a U.S.-based war set of circumstances. We have seen crypto in other wars in other countries where those countries will go into crypto as a hedge against their currency being devalued.
Yeah.
You're seeing that in Iran, apparently, from the data that we're seeing pulled, where crypto and the blockchain in that country is spiking up because people are pulling their money out of the Iranian ecosystem and putting it in the crypto ecosystem.
Yeah, okay.
Which I guess in some ways makes a lot of sense. And I think it's probably a smart fiscal decision. That being said, the U.S. market is completely ignoring this. As a matter of fact, the gas sector, energy and gas, should be down.
Yeah.
Right. And you should see the 10-year starting to rise. We saw the 10-year dip on Monday.
You saw it, right? You saw a dip. Now I think the 10 years back up.
It's back up like
to
407.
407. Yeah.
407. But then you have the 30-year mortgages that are just back above. I think it's like 60 something, 607, 607, something like that. Which is again still a great rate, relatively speaking.
And the 30-year Treasury is at 4.7.
Yeah.
I mean, what's happening?
Honestly, I think there is a complete and total lack of appreciation of a possibility of a correction. I think the market, this is going to sound like a broad statement, I think the stock market is now buying its own hype, and it's too big to fail. Everybody is so invested in one another. It's so incestual now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it fail.
Yeah. And I think that with as much institutional money that's into the system now, that what's the guy's name? Saylor?
Oh, Michael Saylor.
Michael Saylor. What did he say about Bitcoin?
He's buying.
He's like, go ahead. I'll buy way more than you could sell.
Yeah.
That's the thought process of probably the institutional money. Even if there was supposed to be a correction, we'll put more money in to make sure to float this thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what happens. And it's happening over and over and over again. And I look at this stuff and I'm just throwing up my hands. I mean, so the guy today on the show was asking me, like, why are you like ranting about it? Because it's illogical. And illogical markets scare me.
So yeah, it means you shouldn't trust the headlines.
Well, and that's a whole different path we can go down too. Like so normally I'll post something financially at night, and then I'll post in the morning, and then I'll post in the afternoon, and then I'll post again at night, right? And I go to this
posting, son.
Yeah, I post a lot, and it helps me just logically keep up with what's going on in the markets. But I try to carve out anything that's political. I mean, there's something like, for example, today the White House put together a program which we can talk about a little bit, but basically it's a ratepayer program, which basically makes the hyperscalers and AI companies pay and subsidize the growth of electrical needs.
Oh, yeah.
The infrastructure. And in theory, as they're building these new electrical buildings out, and it doesn't talk, it's not a federal mandate. So how this gets enforced is still a question mark. Nobody really knows. But this program that the White House rolled out and talked about today, which is an interesting time to talk about this, where the AI companies and the hyperscalers will pay for their own electricity, and any excess electricity will run off to the consumer and hopefully lower our costs.
Nice.
But basically, it's in theory should prevent us, the consumer, from paying too much from electricity perspective.
And it should probably keep people out from their city council meetings from voting against having these data centers.
And it's sensational if it works. But again, not a federal mandate, a program. Who oversees this program? Who enforces this program?
Yeah.
What are the rules?
Right.
Saied, I've got a new program.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mac Mini.
Oh, yeah.
Have a Mac Mini. Have a Mac Mini.
There's an AI agent and a ratepayer program. Put a sticker on it.
Yeah.
Call it Donald J.
Exactly.
Donald J agent.
Right.
DJA.
Mm-hmm.
DJA. Anyway, you know what's funny? I was thinking the other day, I was getting out of the shower. I looked at myself naked in the mirror, and I thought to myself, where is The Rock? What happened to him? Remember they were talking about him running for president in political office for a while?
That's what you thought?
Yeah, I'm like, The Rock.
You
What happened to DJ? Right? Like they
lost a lot of weight, bro.
He did lose a lot of weight, yeah.
Was that a health reason, or he did it for a role?
I think he did it for a role, but then he also decided that over long term that it's going to be better for him.
Okay.
But at the same time, what's his face? The other guy did it.
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista did it too. Dave Bautista. Hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know about what your selective choices are in men, but he's a good looking dude, man. Like his style game is all right.
He's not bad.
He's not a good looking like physically guy, but his style game is tight.
You have a bias though.
Why? Because Filipino?
No, because Guardian of the Galaxy. That's your thing.
Okay, because Marvel related?
No, yeah, that's that. I know you have a bias.
I didn't like Black Adam. I thought that was.
I never saw it.
No, you don't say.
Right. I don't even know the storyline.
It's basically like he's Superman but bald.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and that didn't do well. We already got Superman. We don't need you.
No, it's a Marvel, DC character, and there's a whole thing there. But basically, it did not go as planned.
Got it.
from a production standpoint. But it's a good superhero. I'm into all the corny stuff, but whatever. But anyway, so I was getting out of the shower, looking at myself, looking in the mirror, thinking about DJ, and then I was like, what happened? Remember they were talking about him being president for a long time, running for office and all that stuff, and he was actually giving interviews talking about it.
It's wild. I mean, he could get a lot of votes.
And then I think to myself,
imagine the rallies. If DJT can host a rally like that, what do you think The Rock could do?
Yeah,
he's got years of experience. If you smell,
He's like,
he's coming out one time, at least one time.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, what's your opinion? It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
We're terrible people.
Yeah.
Somewhere, someone's listening to this, like really cussing us out, probably planning to go on the next live and tell me off.
Yeah.
And if you're that person, I can't wait.
Yeah. We're waiting for it.
All right. So the question remains, are we in markets resilient or are we just in denial? And I really don't know. The Reuters reported a tech-led rebound today. I covered it on the live show. The stock market, to my mind, is completely disconnected. And frankly, I don't think we are correctly pricing this. I think we're ignoring the secondhand inflation risks that are real. Because no matter what you think politically about a war, even if it stops tomorrow, and I don't see that happening, you still have inflation that's going to come up and cause an increase in the inflation numbers, right? And how's the Fed going to fix that? They're going to cut rates or they're going to increase rates, right? As of right now, the March meeting is at over 97% probability of not making a change to the rates. I think that's the right call.
Yeah, that's the right call for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, first of all, it's the only call, that they would be able to justify, given all the data points that have come out. But, I mean, I would anticipate at least somewhat of a dip in the not-so-distant future, right?
Dip in what?
The market as a whole.
Yeah, I think so.
My message behind that would be like to not panic sell, to like that should be the expectation.
You know what the messed up part is? The part that bothers me a great deal is I've said on this show more times than I can count, Saied, I want to see the housing market go down. What's the catalyst? And you go, I don't know. And I go, we settle these problems, and we go, I don't know. And we go, well, but if there could be a catalyst, but until such time as there is one, I don't know.
Right.
And then if you would have told me, independent of all this, hey, Chris, what's going to make the stock market go down? And I go, I don't, maybe a war? I would have thought a war would fucking bring it down.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not coming down.
Right.
That the fear in the market, which is still evident by the VIX, right? The fear gauge is saying people are more afraid today than they were yesterday.
Yeah.
Is not enough to bring this down. What's going to bring the market down?
Yeah.
Please enlighten me.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Nvidia missing earnings finally? That's gonna do it. I mean, I just, and how is that worse than a war?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's because it's literally propping up the entire stock market.
It makes no sense. And then I see this disinformation campaign in the morning, and I'm going like, okay, what? Like, and I think the quote was, it came from the New York Times.
Now you can't trust the New York Times anymore?
I don't know. Do I have to like see like somebody speaking, and even then, do I trust it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels wrong.
What could be like the equivalent, like old school blue check mark for a video? I don't. I don't know. There's nothing you can be able to create.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Everything, because you're not watching live events, and even if you do watch a live event, you can kind of mirror that. So,
that's the only way. To me, in my opinion, is it's got to be live.
Yeah.
That's the only counter to all of this. It has to be live.
And unfortunately, I agree. So I watched the other day.
But then, even then, you got Jim Carrey impersonators out there, and you're like, what is going on?
And here's the crazy part about that. I still don't know if that was an impersonator or not.
Nah, come on.
Jim Carrey came out and made a statement.
No. That was, come on.
I know. You saw
9 days earlier. Oh, you think he got like hair extensions?
I'm saying it doesn't make any sense. How did that guy get into the event if Jim Carrey himself didn't RSVP for it?
Well, he probably did RSVP for it.
And then didn't show up?
Yeah. Dude, it's so easy. You seen that guy who acted as Klay Thompson for the Golden State Warriors and just walked into the gym and went out to the... It's so easy.
But here's the thing. Is Klay Thompson was supposed to be there.
So I'm saying Jim Carrey was probably supposed to be there.
And then just didn't show up?
Yeah, he probably sent the guy on his own. What do you mean? Come on. Are we going to act like people don't have doubles?
I get that.
Go do my performance for me. Come on. Go lip sing it for me. That's happened.
Akon.
Yeah, Akon's different though. Akon's just a master.
What's wrong with Akon?
He's an entrepreneur, bro. His brother looked just like him. He's like, look, bro, we can both do performances at the same time and make money. That's entrepreneurial.
Bro,
he's thinking outside the box.
There used to be, I don't know if they still play, but there's these two twins in the NBA. I think the Morris brothers. They're identical twins, and they have arm sleeves, and they have matching arm sleeve tattoos too. It's all matching. Bro, he's like, hey, you want to fill in for me tonight? I don't want to play tonight. That could easily happen.
But they're both on different teams, though, right?
They're all, they both made the league. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder that way.
Yeah.
I mean, not splitting a check, though.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do that if I had a sibling. Oh, these two guys?
These two guys.
Yeah, they look very much alike. Do they have the same tattoos on both arms?
Same tattoos, both arms.
Good for them.
Good for them.
They both play in the Suns?
At one point, they did.
That's
I think
gotta be cool.
I think they're out of the league now.
Can you imagine playing with your brother on a pro team?
I mean, that's got
to feel good. That's got to feel good.
That, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
If only my brother would tell
Damn, shout out to BBC. This from BBC?
Yeah, BBC. First of all, they aren't the same height.
Yeah, I don't think you catch the joke.
Oh, I get the joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one with the tattoos. They're pretty much similar.
Not pretty much. They are.
What's the
half
district?
sleeve,
Is that DC?
Huh? Oh, the district? Yeah, that was the Washington team. So that was when they were on different teams.
Okay. Well, all
Yeah.
right.
There's that.
So Kevin Warsh got nominated today, officially. We knew that was coming. I think the White House formally nominated him today to replace Jerome Powell, but Jerome Powell obviously his term ends in mid-May.
What's the incentive for him?
For who?
Kevin Warsh. Why are you taking this?
It's a popular job.
Why would you do this? This is a headache, bro.
It's a career builder, man.
It really? I don't feel like it's building any kind of career for Jerome Powell right now. It's done for him after this. It's over.
No, he'll write books. He'll go on tours.
Oh, yeah, maybe he'll get a book deal for sure.
Couple
Okay.
private planes. Might wind up in a pool with a sultan. You never know. When they asked Bill Clinton, why did you go in the
Why
pool?
was he smiling at the photos though?
Because he was looking back.
He looked back. He's like, "Oh, I remember this
I
one."
think the reason why is because he knew the story was so ridiculous.
He's like, did you see the look on his face? He's looking at him like,
Because I'll tell you the story exactly how he said it. Why did you go in the pool? And he goes, well, I checked into the hotel and
"This ain't right, bro."
and the Sultan had told me to go to the pool.
Hey, when the Sultan tells you to go to the pool, you
So I went to the pool.
right,
Which, let's be honest, if a Sultan calls you and goes, bro, dude, guy, bro.
because that's how they talk, right?
I don't know. I'm just,
Yeah.
trying to make it funny. You need to go to the pool, bro.
You have to.
You got to go, bro.
You got to see my pool. You've never seen a pool like this,
Right. That's code, right?
You got to know what's in the pool. You just got to go.
Like,
he knows
like
that ain't
he's
his.
sending
Listen,
Sultan stuff to the pool, right?
Hold on. It's also not his first rodeo.
Yeah, no, he admitted, like, how many billionaire jets have you been on? And he goes,
He's got to wait. I know him. I know him. You got to add. You got to account for a little bit of memory loss.
He's
I
like-
got a
he's
couple
like,
more there.
5 or 6. Yeah, lots of billionaires.
Doesn't. Yeah.
I was like, bruh, just everybody got jets now? You just can't count them? It's just, what the hell? And again, there's pictures of him in the pool, and Ghislaine Maxwell's like a couple feet from him, and he's just sitting back and smiling. And like everybody's asking him the context of this, and he's smiling while giving the interview. And meanwhile, his wife's Hillary Clinton one, where they released photos of her,
She just went.
and she went off, slammed her hand on the table, and walked out. And God, the world is such a weird place right now. It's so emotionally discouraging.
I think it's emotionally discouraging, and honestly, with everything that's been, let's just look back at the last 5 to 6 years since the pandemic and everything that's been coming out. Right, so many major.
Yeah, it's him smiling. God,
jeez, that's such a bad look.
Yeah,
Dude, look at
he's legit.
He's like,
he's
"Damn,
laughing.
that was a
Come
good
on,
time."
bro, rocking the Apple Ultra 2 is
Yeah, I
wild.
thought that was crazy.
With
Like, aren't
the
you worried about
orange
tracking. There's
with
got to
the
be like a health issue or
with the
something.
orange band, dude. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Look, I'm like y'all.
just like y'all. Mine's different though.
And then here's Hillary all pissed off.
Yeah, I know. She slammed the table, dude.
Yeah.
She was pissed. And honestly, in her defense, they released photos of her during this interview of her doing stuff, which is dirty pool. If you're going to interview her and you finally get her on the stand to answer questions, like why are you going to go the extra distance of releasing photos of her while she's there? I mean, it's just like you're throwing salt in the wound. You got enough to ask her some pretty provocative questions. Just ask her provocative questions. You know, I'm sure it's not going to be as fun as the Sultan told me to go to the pool.
Yeah, yeah. But since just go back the last 5-6 years with all the different headlines that have come out, all the headline risks to the market and everything, right? I feel like it's kind of like what my cousin who went through med school, and I talked to him about it, and all the different things that he's seen during residency and all the different rotations that he's done. You know, he's gone and he's they've had to amputate people's legs because of diabetes and you just see so much, right? And you're now desensitized. I got no feeling towards anything. You know,
I feel like that's the information flow right
that's
now.
And that's what it feels. And that's the only justification that I have for why hasn't the market dipped? Because people are just it's hard to keep up. How can you keep up with it?
I don't care. It's just about money. Is that what your sentiment is?
No, it's not that I don't care. It's about money. My sentiment is we've experienced so much in the last 5-6 years that nothing hurt. So let's just keep riding it.
Okay, but that's not a strategy.
I'm not saying it's a strategy. I'm just saying they're not even thinking about it.
No,
at least the everyday investor. And then you already know institutionally, they've taken the emotion out of everything. They're just waiting to see how the market reacts.
It's derivative, yeah.
Yeah, it's all derivative driven. So they're not going to come out and self-correct. Hey, money's flowing. Keep it going.
And then so now you have Claude Code, which came out with their wealth advisory codec, and now wealth advisory agent services. So now, do you really need a wealth advisor for you, or can Claude do that?
I mean,
it's such a weird time to. And then today in the news, Kraken, which is a crypto firm, got the first official access to the bank's Fed routing system.
Yeah, the core payment system, right?
Core payment
What does
system.
that mean for everyone? So that's got to be a major deal.
Well, so let's back it up here. I don't believe this is going to be there's going to be a lot of people who are going to apply for this because it's a sensational thing in the headlines, right? And Jamie Dimon did kind of dare people. He was like, you want to be a bank, be a bank. And they're like, all right, pal, we're a bank. Now what's up?
They have a Kraken, which is a brokerage, you can have a brokerage account online for your crypto. Mm-hmm. They have a banking arm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And today, the same day, Coinbase is now trading stocks. Okay? I look at that as a bit of an asterisk here, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that looks like they're just adopting the Robinhood model. Robinhood started off as a stock trading platform that got into crypto and tried to democratize the space by offering free trading.
Okay.
Coinbase was a crypto firm that got into stocks trying to democratize the space and have some crossover. So they're just trying to stop the client bleed and use a platform that's very similar.
But it wasn't too long ago that they got hacked, right?
Coinbase?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, security protocols are what they are. You're going to get attacked. It's just the modern world that we're in. But the Kraken getting access to the Fed system is significantly more important. But I look at this and go, okay, there's going to be a rush of applications of people trying to get similar bank charters in the crypto space now. That's going to happen. Just expect that, number one. But over the long term, this is not going to happen consistently because here's a problem. If you're in the crypto world, you've got a fundamental disconnect to what happens in the real world. And that is the know your customer. KYC.
A lot of people don't know what that means yet.
So the KYC process for banks, you have a duty, a federal requirement to ask questions. Source of wealth, source of funds when making loans.
This is to prevent money laundering.
Anti-Money Laundering Act.
In the banking system. So
under the Bank Secrecy Act, BSA, AML.
This is ways for bankers can't skirt the system and just accept money in, and they'll have to answer to regulators on how did you vet this out to make sure that this is all clean?
And there's slightly different requirements for the deposit side as there are for the lending side, but we know lending and crypto also go hand in hand as well. And one of the things that a lot of crypto holders want to do is find a way to get a loan so they don't have to sell them the crypto, and they get a loan on the assets they own. They don't pay income tax on it, and it's a benefit to them to do it that way, structure it that way.
Well, it wasn't too long ago too, right, where banks were now allowing to account for crypto on your balance sheet to maybe apply towards your net worth, right? To qualify for the loan.
That's right. And then,
which is a portion of the requirement to qualify for a loan.
Right. So you have this world where I think the crypto firms have romanticized the idea of having access to the Fed system. Having access to that system means you have to fulfill the requirements. Now, according to the White House, they're going to make some of these rules a lot more easy to work through for banks and for crypto companies. But here's the way this works. if you're a tech company and you're a non-bank lender, for example, your compliance burden is way lighter than somebody who's in the banking sphere and has federal regulators in your building frequently.
Do you feel like that should be the case, or should it be equal? Is there justification for it?
Well, look at the private credit market as a proxy for what we're talking about. Banks under the Dodd-Frank Act have an ability to follow ability to repay rule. They have to follow this path.
You have to show that the person can actually repay the loan.
That's right. And they have to document and evidence this. They can't have implied or expressed, I'm blanking on the name, implied or expressed biased. They can't discriminate, right? So they have to do all this extra work, but they also have to verify source of wealth, source of funds. If you're coming at all this cash, they have to verify where it came from. They have these requirements. And then we all know about the CTR rule, currency transaction reports. You bring in more than $10,000 in cash, they're going to report you via currency transaction report. There's also SARS, suspicious activity reports, where if you're doing something weird in a bank has a requirement to file a suspicious activity report, also known as a SAR.
Right. For instance, if you're trying to skirt that $10,000 rule, you take out $9,900. Bank gonna be like.
So if you want to opt into the current banking system, you got to follow all these protocols. That requires a lot more resources and a lot more compliance burden. And I'm sorry, AI ain't there yet. So I think a lot of these crypto firms are getting into this space going, okay, we want to do this. Okay, well, you're also putting yourself at regulatory risk, number one. And now you've got to eat into your earnings because you have all these extra people and systems you have to put in place in order to ensure that your protocols align with the banking system.
Yeah.
A lot easier said than done. And I don't want to name any names, but I have been asked to participate with very, very well-known financial companies on helping them get bank charters. And once they realize how big of a burden this is, everyone that I've ever talked to has been like, no, I'm out. Yahtzee. No. I don't want to do this.
Because it's not worth the headache. Yeah.
Because banking will do something called banking as a service, where they will sell their bank's services to you as a service. And then you say, for example, Robinhood has a bank behind them, and that bank is the one who's using that their services are using, but Robinhood runs you through their services, right? Apple did this with their credit cards, where they got banking as a service through, I think it was Goldman Sachs.
Yes. And
that relationship didn't work out. Gee, I wonder why. And the reason why is they're selling them a service. Apple doesn't have their own bank. It makes more sense for Apple to have their own bank, but it's very costly, very compliance heavy, and then you've got regulatory exams. When a large bank program, they're there all the time.
Then you can't discriminate either.
And if you're one of these bigger companies, $10 billion in assets or more, they're there all the time.
Right, exactly.
At least right now, anyway.
Yeah,
it changes a little bit.
Yeah, they're locked in, and they're in there like swimwear.
So in the private credit world, they've decided to take on additional credit risk that banks could not take on, but they get paid more interest for it, right? They're sacrificing credit quality for rate.
Win-win, right?
It's a win-win for them until credit deteriorates. Then banks who have been unable to take those types of risks, high leverage loans, for example, they don't have the same default percentages as the private credit market is likely to have in the not too distant future. And that's what all the scuttlebutt has been about, hey, these guys are out here making all these wild loans. And it's because they don't have the regulatory oversight that banks do. So now crypto companies are entering that sphere, and I fear that they don't understand what they're getting themselves into.
Okay.
It's a lot sexier in theory than it is in execution.
But maybe the idea of just adding another layer of legitimacy means more to them right now.
Maybe. I think, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the crypto sphere has enough ETFs and institutional people who have adopted in that they need that ecosystem to work. And you know what? I'm here for it. I hope that it does. I hope that regulatory oversight and crypto come together and they coalesce in a world, because to me, that gets you closer to the blockchain. And to me, that's the value, right? A ubiquitous blockchain worldwide, which can track records, right? We all have social security numbers. There are things tied to our social security numbers every single day that no one knows your name and social. You try to keep those separate. You try to keep them hidden. But the fact of the matter is, why don't we all have crypto wallets that match our socials?
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty easy install.
I know. Come on, Elon.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this isn't like rocket science. You know, you put in some, your own like 4-digit code at the end of it, and that's your crypto blockchain wallet, right? I'm just saying, like, some of this stuff just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you know they're going to do that with the AI agents and the bots.
What do you mean?
They're going to have their own accounts, their own socials.
They'll all be registered to the blockchain.
Yeah, they'll all be registered to the blockchain.
So you'll know. I mean, because here's the problem: is I think in the future you're going to wind up having companies that are 5 employees, right? You're going to have a CEO, right? You're going to have a CTO, a chief technology officer. You're going to have 3 people who maintain a huge cluster of AI agents.
I mean, didn't you tell me recently Meta is rolling this out and eliminating their middle management?
Yeah, so Meta's take on it, and Mark Zuckerberg's made plenty of public statements about this, right? So this is not like fodder for me just like jumping into theory.
This is part of the game plan.
This is part of the game plan. He's talked about this as 2026 is his transition year. But he's basically saying that if you're a middle manager at the company, right, you're either going to be managing what instead of being 12 people, it's going to be like 50 people because you have AI assisting you. They have AI assisting them. So now we're expecting more volume out of you as a middle manager, and there's going to be less middle management. He wants a much flatter organization. I think that is going to be how large companies function, right? You're going to get rid of his middle management is why. If you have AI assisting you, how many, let's be honest, okay? Let's be emotionally, intellectually honest. If you work for a large company and you're corporate America, right? And you walk around the office at any given time, are people always head down working?
No. Right. But with the advancement of technology has allowed the employee to become more efficient.
Right. So if employees are more efficient, they have more time.
Yes.
So their work output should either be greater or their capacity to do more work should be greater.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to maximize that. And in Zuckerberg's world, that means you're going to have more responsibilities.
God, worse than the NFL, the no fun league.
No fun league. I don't understand the reference.
They can't have any fun. No celebrations. Fine for everything.
Really?
Yeah.
No dancing in the end zones or anything like that?
I mean, though, yeah, they do, but come on,
You-
let
you-
them
you're
get a little
fine
bit
for
more
it?
creative. Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to make it family friendly.
What?
Yeah, you can't have it. Just
But
a lot of sexual dances
You
in the
can't-
end zones these days.
what's wrong with the gritty? You can't do the gritty?
I don't even know what that is.
Stop it.
What's the Grady?
The gritty?
You gotta do it now, man.
Yeah, stand up,
Get it,
do it.
get it.
Camera's on.
Cameras off. Do it.
Yeah.
No, good. I'll leave that to Adam.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But I'm very deeply worried about the
So wait.
future.
So wait, what's the next hurdle or the next step for Kraken now that they have access to the Fed payment systems?
They already have their approval, so now it's just implementing. It's just implementing the structure and rolling out products that go along with it. And then, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't fully understand why they need it. And I've been in this business a long time, right? And I guess if you want to have people wire money in, and there's other vehicles with which to do this. I don't know what
Because on their platform, you could take dollars and convert it to crypto, and also vice versa, back and forth. Now, do they have a wallet? You know, if they have you can store and hold your money there too.
Now they can offer checking and savings accounts and do all that too. And you can send wires to their system. You bypass 1 or 2 extra steps.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think it's worth the regulatory burden? I mean, not really.
Yeah.
Is it great PR? Yeah. I did not even know what Kraken's logo looked like yesterday. Now I know exactly who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why them?
Because their name is dope. We're the Kraken.
I mean, what's Kraken?
Nah, it's not.
Us.
No,
We're Kraken.
that's not.
That we can make it. We can do a commercial.
This is Saied. He's clapping cheeks. I'm Chris. I'm cracking cheeks.
Said's clapping cheeks. I'm over here cracking cheeks. That's so good.
That's a commercial you'll never forget, brother.
That's so unbelievably good. Sponsor the show, Kraken.
Yeah. I couldn't do an advertising.
That's Said over there. He's clapping cheeks. Over here, Kraken.
This show is brought to you by Kraken, where you can clap some cheeks.
Oh
I'm
God.
going to hell.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if I can take a mic because
I don't know if I can do anything after that.
we need a TV timeout.
Yeah. We'll put you on timeout now, Regil. You got anything?
Nah, you guys have got it all cracking up in there.
He's trying to wiggle out of the show as soon as possible. It doesn't. In my defense, I didn't turn the air on purpose, so I'm trying to heat him up.
Yeah.
He's wearing a jacket.
It's
in here.
hot, man. I'm wearing a long sleeve too.
Yeah, I'm roasting both of you guys out here.
I swear.
Make sure these guys look moist while they're getting their cheese clapped.
I'm literally crying. Oh my God. I didn't cry to Sam Zell.
So now that we're towards the last hour of the show, and we're towards the last couple minutes of it, and you want to admit to the audience what you did before I walked in here, you dirty mouth bastard?
What did I do?
You burped so nasty.
You can't prove that. Prove it.
That's Iranian food
Prove
for
it.
sure. I could smell the kubide out of your breath.
Oh wait, hold on. Africans have kubide too.
Do you really? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I said it was kubide because that's all you would understand. But I mean, it was kebab.
Okay. Yeah, you can smell it.
Yeah.
It is the one food where it tastes amazing, but in your car or on your breath afterwards,
Honestly,
it's the worst.
if you have kebab or kubide and you are planning to meet with people later,
don't do it.
Honestly, that's like
It's insulting.
that's grounds for like not being friends anymore.
Yeah, which by the way, you just did to us
did
tonight,
that, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Rajil, he is not our friend.
Honestly, it's a complete lack of respect for the people you're meeting with.
Rajil, I can co-sign that. Can you?
Hold on.
Well, I'm in a different room, so I didn't smell it.
I respected him enough to wait.
I
knew I
Febreze.
wanted you to deal with
I
this.
had to Febreze the
alone.
entire room because of you.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm turning the heat up right now.
Turn the heat up right
I'm
now.
going to turn the heat on right now. Make sure you roast you a little bit.
Hey, shout out to all the listeners that tuned into today's live. Today's live was really good. If you haven't been able to check out the lives, it's on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we give you live market updates and what we're seeing. We've built out a lot of really, really cool charts. Chart work is amazing on there.
Phenomenal.
Is it? I'm trying to get better. One of the things I gotta do is I gotta buy.
And enjoy while it lasts.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts, because that thing is eventually going to go behind a paywall.
Yeah. Well, I gotta build a model, the alpha model. I gotta. Well, I've already built a model. I've got to program the model, have our agentic AI cut in. I've got to buy a device which plugs into the current setup, which will give us real-time transitions in video. And then I'm building out a separate network to put all this stuff on so that it runs 24/7. Because one of the things we do right now is we only actually pull data into the server during the actual live show hours. So I'll start the server up about 30 minutes for a show, and then I'll end it about 30 minutes after a show, and that gives me the data set that I'm using the beta of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I found a way to. Right now I'm paying for APIs for X, which ironically the API calls for X to pull data from X's tweets is more expensive than the API calls for Claude.
Oh, wow.
Which is, when you think about it, I'm getting reasoning data from Claude, analytical data, versus just pulling down otherwise publicly available data on X. And for some reason, X just costs more.
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah, but that's the way it works for now. And I found a way to reduce the overhead cost. It actually...
That's Elon.
A new Claude bot function, which they now can scrape any site and it's undetectable as a bot.
Yeah, and what was that?
Van Damme needs to be their spokesperson.
Yeah, I'm Claude.
Claude Van Damme. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, welcome to the Claude bot. I'm the German Claude bot. Hi.
And it was like not too long ago, right, where the Pentagon struck to deal with OpenAI.
Struck a deal, which by the way was dirty, bro.
So dirty work.
Dario over at Anthropic goes, "Yeah, man, we're not gonna do that. We have ethical morals." And then Sam Altman goes, "We don't.
Yeah,
we're in."
Yeah, I'm in.
And then he backpedaled the next day and goes, "Yeah, but we have the same ethical morals as Anthropic does. Where do I sign this contract?"
Yeah, and the reason why he started backpedaling a little bit was because the next day uninstalls of OpenAI jumped 300%.
Yeah, that's right. It seems a little financially motivated, is all I'm saying.
Of course.
I mean, if you watch the last show, it just fits right in.
Yeah, a lot of people liked the last show, the AI show. I like that one.
A lot of people like that one.
I think they like it because I got angry and like salty,
visceral.
Yeah.
You were a little angry.
I mean, it's complete bullshit.
Just a wee bit.
It's a little bit. It's a lot of bullshit.
It's hard, man. It's hard to see where it all goes from here, on how this all plays out.
So okay, I'll end the show on something that here. Look, I get asked a lot about AI. As a matter of fact, one of the CPAs next door comes over all the time. We have these like deep philosophical conversations about AI, and I've resided to the fact that it doesn't matter what you do. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a banker, you could be in healthcare, you could be in fitness as a trainer. It really does not matter what you do. All of us need to get comfortable with AI.
Yeah.
We need to play with it. We need to build with it. We need to understand it. You need to understand AI. And I've said this on previous shows. I said it in the last show. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to beat the drum on this one because no one knows what comes next. This is unprecedented, uncharted territory. The markets are acting irrationally. We are in the middle of wars, and I am telling you to understand AI. Why? Because the most disruptive, permanent thing that is going to happen to us in our lifetime is, in fact, AI-driven.
Yeah.
The more you understand it, the more you know, the better you are. If you have a parent or family member who's been completely disconnected to the internet, what happens to them next will unplug them and make them look like savages in caves. And there's no place you can go that's going to be immune to this. You can go to Austin. You can go to LA. You can go to, Florida. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. It does not matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Had to throw that in there.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So do you guys think of me whenever I walk into a room with a towel on too, or The Rock, or is it just me who thinks
I think it's just you.
Okay.
I think it's just you. Yeah, yeah.
I think so. We're both bald.
Yeah. You still give off the Jeff Goldblum vibes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wish.
I do wish. Yeah.
He seems fun. Like he would be a great hang.
He was a good-looking dude back in the day.
Was he?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park days, not so much.
No, the Fly days.
The Fly days?
Yeah, he was Fly.
When was
The
that?
Fly.
Oh, The Fly?
He was the Fly. You ever seen the movie The Fly?
No.
That's how he got famous.
Oh.
And then he did Earth Girls Are Easy. Great movie. Huh?
You're really dating yourself now.
Yeah, no, I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, he's great. Anyways, on that. This was a good episode. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. There it is. There's my guy.
I guess he was a stud.
Look at that dude. That was Jurassic Park. That wasn't The Fly, was it?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. This is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it was Independence Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, right here, Jurassic Park.
Oh, Jurassic Park. Yeah, I know my Jeff Goldblum shirtless pictures. I knew exactly where that was from.
Look at him, jacked, fitted.
Oh no, right here.
That looks like Sylvester Stallone, but that's him.
It does look like him. Yeah.
But that
I
is.
was just about to say like Rambo, man.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Fly.
Pull him up in Earth Girls Are Easy with Gina Davis.
Okay.
Great show. They all turn into these aliens that are clearly just like big fabric suits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an alien, and she's an alien, and she's a human.
So he's known as the alien movie guy?
I don't know. He's known the alien. That's him. See the Earth Girls? You see those three aliens right there? The yellow, blue, and red ones? I think he's the blue one.
I have not seen this.
Earth Girls Are Easy? Great movie. Look at him. Stud.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah. And this is a time where like a dude that looked like us couldn't be an actor. And he made it. So, yeah, pull right there. Click on that one. There you go.
Yeah, he's got charisma though.
Yeah, massive charisma. And who's the guy in the middle? I can't remember who the other guy was. Is that Jim Carrey?
It looks like Jim Carrey.
That might be Jim Carrey.
Is that Damon Wayans?
Yeah, I think it's Damon Wayans. Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans.
That would make sense. SNL days, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Go to IMDb. If you're listening to the show and you still say,
yeah, it is. It was right there. Yeah, if you're,
yeah, Damon
Yeah,
Wayans,
it was Jim Carrey,
and Jim Carrey. Yeah,
dude, 2 Jim Carrey references on the show.
The real Jim Carrey. To be clear, the real Jim Carrey.
Please stand
right.
up.
Please stand up. Exactly.
Yeah, Gina Davis, Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, and a bunch of people you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good cast though.
If you're still sticking around, and I know we haven't said it yet, the best thing you could do for the show to support the show is head over to joinfridays.com, enter the code HIGHER to get $100 off your first order, or head over to thspod.com to get your merch, all the Fly merch.
Yeah.
And lastly, send the show out to a friend, family member, somebody that you feel like that could use it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it.
Until next time, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Good night, everybody.